Hello and welcome to SEO Courage channel. This video is about SEO-friendly URL structure, the best practices to make your URL SEO friendly. So before starting this video, we request you to please subscribe to this channel for more SEO tips and updates in future. So first of all, we start with the meaning of the URL here. It's Uniform Resource Locator, which is the location or address of your web page available on the internet. You can see an example of the URL here, which consists of several parts, which starts from the protocol, which helps in the communication between web browser and web server. Then it is subdomain. Domain is the name of your website, and once you create the domain, you can have multiple subdomains in future as per the requirement. .com is the top level domain. It can be .gov, .org or many more options. This is the subfolder or subdirectory, we can say. Like here you can see the category. This is the subfolder. And this is the URL name or internal page, or you can say the slug of the URL, which describes the content available in a particular page. So now let's start with the best practices for SEO-friendly URL structure. It starts with the domain name, the website name you create for your domain. So it should be memorable, shorter, and easy to remember. And don't try to use hyphens or numbers as it makes it confusing. As you can see, the example here, example hyphen for hyphen u is more complicated than example for you here. So make it easy to remember and shorter. So the second is adding www or not. So many websites in these days don't use www. That is your choice to use it or not. But our recommendation is to use it, as if in the future you create some subdomains under your domain, then it is easy to control the website cookies, as you can see here the example. So we recommend to use www. So now we move to the third best practice, which is using the relevant keyword in the URL, as it helps to describe the page more easily for the user and search engine. So you should include the relevant URL. Like here is an example. If your page is about SEO free tools, then your keyword used in the URL should describe that. The other best practice is to use the add hyphens to separate the words, as it is a recommendation from Google itself to use hyphens. Google consider hyphens as spaces between the different words. So now we move to the fifth best practice, which is using the lowercase letter in URLs. Just for your information, Google considers lowercase and uppercase as different pages. So it creates a duplicate content issue if you use the capital letter or smaller letter. Both are different. So just use the smaller letter, lower cases in your URLs. And the sixth best practice is about avoiding the parameters in URLs. Try to use static URLs without the parameters, as the URLs which are static rank easily in the search engines. The next one is to use the secured URLs using HTTPS, as this is one of the ranking factor, and your user feels secured while opening your website. This is the another best practice, which is about to keep your URL shorter, but it should be descriptive enough to convey what the page is about. One thing to remember here is, if you have same word multiple times in your URL, then please avoid to use that. Like here, if we are in the videos folder, then there is no need to add video in the URL name, because it's obvious this will be a video. The next thing to consider is you should avoid stop words in your URLs. As you can see here, and as, and there are so many stop words which has no significance in the search engine. So you should avoid to use these stop words in your URLs. and it will also help to make your URL shorter. And another best practice is to limit your use of dates in the URLs. You can use the dates, but in case of events or special dates requirements only. Like here you can see in Olympics website, the Tokyo 2020 has been used. So it needs to be used, but avoid dates if you can avoid, as users tend to search for the updated content in search engines. So these are the 10 best practices which you can follow to make your URL structure SEO friendly. Now we move on to the last discussion in this video, which is regarding when to use subdomain and when to use subdirectory. As you can see here, when you want to add some different business that can't be covered within your website, like if you want to move on to other industries like automobile and fashion, then it is better to use subdomain, as you can see here an example. But one thing to remember here is Google doesn't inherit ranking and authority benefits from the root domain to the subdomain. And in case of subdirectory, as you can see here, when you want to add some related or new section based on your main domain, like adding a blog or adding a kids wear, when you have men's wear only and you are adding kids wear, then you can add the subdirectory here. And the one benefit of using subdirectory, it inherits the ranking value from the main domain. So we hope you liked this video and you understood what are the best practices you can follow to make your URL SEO friendly. So if you liked this video, then please click on the like button and subscribe to this channel for the SEO videos in future. You will get more SEO tips and SEO updates here. Thanks for watching this video. Have a good day.